Welcome everyone to the Side Draft Podcast. And today at ISM Raceway, I keep wanting us to say it's Phoenix, but it's ISM. We officially announced the Final Four for the Truck Series race. Brett Moffitt ends up winning the race, while Gragson gets in on points. Then, of course, Sauter and Justin Haley won the past two races. So there's your Final Four, and a very deserving Final Four. All those four have been really strong, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was really tight racing. We didn't know if Enfinger would go and steal the win from him, but in the end, Brett Moffitt and Noah Gragson would come back fighting, and it'd be up to Brett Moffitt.
So KBM's been really great at getting the pole here. Noah Gragson ends up winning the pole, so keeping that streak alive. I believe it's like 5 poles in a row for KBM, so really great keeping that streak alive.
Yeah, it had a really fast truck.
And then the green flag would wave. Noah Gragson would lead with Justin Haley on the outside. Noah would get out to a sizable lead in about 3 seconds. Really awesome lead there. Then in second, right behind him, Haley and Harrison Burton would battle for the second position.
Yeah, Noah, he had a really good truck. Once it got clean air, it just took off.
Then we'd have a caution out for Todd Gilliland with the 17 of Ankrum coming off the pit road. And then I guess he just didn't realize the 4 was there, and contact was made. And there was another truck that got into the wreck there. I believe it was the 33. So
it was 33. Yeah, but you try to cut down the apron and come out and just had a minimum and just scratched him a little bit and got out of shape.
Then we'd see some pit, some don't. The 51, Harrison Burton would pit. I believe Matt Crafton pitted during that cycle as well. So we get to see some strategy play out in this stage. Restart would be Gragson versus Moffitt. Moffitt would end up taking the lead from Gragson. Gragson would still be there, but just not enough to get around Moffitt, and Moffitt would win stage 1.
Yeah, I believe that was the top 2 trucks of all night, with Moffitt and Gragson.
Stage 2 would begin. Enfinger would lead off pit road, not taking any tires. Moffitt would be in second. Gragson would end up hitting the pit wall coming into the entrance of his pits, and that would cause him to lose a couple spots there, and not something you want to do, especially when you're not locked in the championship just yet.
Yeah, this new pit road is real tricky for a lot of drivers.
And Brett Moffitt, speaking of tricky, he would be speeding on pit road. Phil Parsons was the one to break the bad news to Moffitt, and he was really appreciative of that. So
yeah, I'm real special. You come in here and just tell me I gotta go to the back, but he's faster every week, even faster on pit road.
So Harrison Burton would stay out because he pitted on that last cycle. He'd take the lead. Matt Crafton would follow. Not much happened in this stage besides Crafton versus Burton, but Burton would hold off the veteran to win his first stage in the Truck Series.
It's really good to see that team go up there and lead some laps, and especially hold off Crafton.
Stage 3 would have pit stops. It is the last stop of the night. No one have to ever go back in there unless they wanted to for tires maybe, but we just wouldn't have a long of a run where that would be any advantage to any of them. John Hunter Nemechek would come off pit road with only 2 tires. Crafton, who put himself in position to attack there, he would have a lengthy pit stop, and that would pretty much be it for his day. Stuart Friesen, who came out third, would have a penalty for speeding, and that's Stuart Friesen-esque. I mean, that's kind of what he does. He has like one of the strongest trucks. He's running down the leaders from like 10th to 3rd, and pit road would pretty much throw it all away.
Yeah, he usually throws it all the way on the money stop. Here's the money stop. It's your last stop of the race. You need to have no mess ups or anything, and it seemed like that team just always something in that last stop.
John Hunter Nemechek would lead while Grant Enfinger would chase him. This is important because if Enfinger wins, he's in championship 4. Noah Gragson's not. Noah Gragson's right there. He's just watching. He's just hoping for the best. Hoping that John Hunter Nemechek slows him up enough so he can get up there and take the lead, or John Hunter would go on to win. But that was not the case because John Hunter Nemechek would spin right in front of Enfinger, almost made contact, but John Hunter would save it, but his day was pretty much done after that point. The tires were just crap at that point and just nothing he could do. It's really tricky sometimes with old tires at ISM Raceway.
Yeah, he did a really good job of not getting the end finger and not spinning around and collecting Gragson and Brett Moffitt. So he did some good driving, even though he was spinning.
You got to be a master at spinning if you want to be a good race car driver. So
yeah, so if you spin out, you really don't want to take anybody else out with you. So that's really good for John Hunter.
During that caution, Justin Haley would basically, something would happen with the engine. He would spill a lot of oil around the track. It is the Lucas Oil 150 after all, so gotta get that sponsor plug in there, maybe. I don't know, something like that.
I mean, you got the oil sponsor the race, need some oil on the track, so it'd be well covered.
Yeah. You should have had Lucas Oil if you didn't, so there you go. Yeah, after that would be red flagged, and the cactus would be yellow for longer to that point. Enfinger versus Gragson versus Moffitt on the restart. Enfinger would pick the wrong lane, really. I think like the inside line had all that dust everywhere. The speedy drought, yeah. And just couldn't get the grip, and he would spin the tires. Well, Gragson would just cruise around to like a 2-second lead, I believe, and Moffitt would be battling Enfinger, so didn't really look like anyone could catch Gragson. Looked to be like it was his night. But then there would be a caution for the 54 of Riley Herbst. So would bunch them up again for one final restart. Noah Gragson versus Enfinger. Miami's on the line. And when they restart, a little bit of bumping and banging with Enfinger and Gragson. And then Moffitt takes advantage of it, cuts right under him while they bump and bang, and Moffitt would win the race.
Yeah, I didn't know if Gragson and Enfinger wouldn't bump a little bit, if like Gragson had a little bit for Moffitt to end, but just not enough laps.
But a lot of respect from Gragson to Enfinger. They shook hands after the race, and we saw a lot of Cup guys complain about racing too hard, but Gragson really appreciated, the racing there, and that's something good to see for NASCAR's future. Yeah,
I really got a lot of respect for Gragson for saying that and doing that. He said that's what you got to do. It's just racing. It's what you got to do. You got to beat and bang sometimes. It's good for the win. If you're gonna dish it out, you got to take it too. So I got a lot of respect for him. I think a lot of them whine, oh, he raced me too hard. He's beating on me. I mean, this guy gets it. You got to go out there and race hard.
He'll be driving in the Xfinity Series next year, so we'll see what he can do, possibly after winning the Truck Series Championship.
Yeah.
So the Final Four is set with, like I said before, Sauter, Haley, Brett Moffitt, and Noah Gragson. Now it's time to make our final picks of the season for the NASCAR Truck Series.
Yeah, I won't go with Noah Gragson for what he said, and I believe he's really determined to not only win the race at Miami, but go on to win the championship, and I like to see him get it.
As for me, I'm picking a non-playoff driver to win the race. I believe Stuart Friesen's going to pull a Cole Custer. Cole Custer went to the Xfinity Series race, not in the playoffs, and just dominated that race. I think Friesen's going to finally get him one. But as for the championship goes, I think Brett Moffitt is going to win the championship and bring home Tory Racing their first championship. And, they've had a great year, really. Last year, I don't think they even won a race. And this year, they've just been, dominating races and closing races, really. Just like this one, just out of nowhere, here comes Brett Moffitt. So
Yeah, I know you can really look at maybe Slaughter be the favorite going in here, but I believe it's going to be down to Brett Moffitt and Noah Gragson.
see, the issue with me with Sauter is like some days he'll come to a track and just dominate a race, but then some days he's 13th. So I never know how to weigh how Sauter's going to go.
Yeah, and you can't put out Justin Haley either. So, I mean, really, those four are all really tight together.
When you think about it, Texas is a lot like Homestead. Justin Haley put on a great show, and almost won it just because of pure speed, but got like lucky at the end because of Gilliland's issues. Won the race. We may see Justin Haley put on a great show at Homestead and win a championship for GMS.
Yeah, because GMS, they got 2 trucks in here, and we got 2 Toyotas, so got a 50-50 chance. So, but yeah, here ISM, Haley and Sauter, they really didn't have a whole lot of speed, and then Haley lost the motor, so I don't know. They ain't got the momentum going into Miami's.
Yeah, like Moffitt and Gragson, they have such a huge momentum going into Homestead. Won the race and finished second, so that's a lot of momentum boost. And then Sauter and Haley, they're going to go in confident, but not as confident as the other two. But that was our race review of this week. Stay tuned next week for our finale of the Truck Series in 2018. It's going to be a sad day to hit stop recording on the final Truck Series podcast, but
we have to find something to do on the weekends now.
I don't know. I'm just going to sit at the TV is going to be blank. But after the race, after our podcast next Friday, I believe it's on Friday, we will go to our Twitter, @SideDraft on Twitter, and you'll be able to vote for your favorite thumbnail of the season. Of course, we started at Iowa this year, so hadn't even done a full season, but it's been a great one at that. Hope you enjoyed the ride, and we'll see you next time.